So the purpose of today, it's really to piggyback on the June meetings that we had. It's also really to give you a brief overview, an introduction to some of the programming that we're going to be conducting over the fall and spring semesters. So really, it's really teeing us up for some of the programs and content that we're going to be focusing on in the upcoming months. So we're just going to briefly touch on these topics and get into more detail once you arrive on campus. So we're going to talk briefly about job search strategies, where to find positions. We're going to talk about the hidden job market, the public job market. We're going to talk briefly about pitch, story, and statement, what those are and when you're going to utilize them. We're going to talk about social media, specifically LinkedIn today. We'll touch on networking, building relationships, and the importance of those activities when you're looking for different opportunities. We'll touch briefly on negotiating, so it might be a little early to talk about that, but it's an important topic that you'll need to consider once you get those offers. We'll talk about our alumni career champions and how to leverage that group for your networking and job search activities. We will also talk about Mason Link, confirm everybody's got access to that, job alerts, and also some of the national career fairs that are coming up this fall. Okay, let's talk a little bit about job search strategies. Specifically, where do people find their jobs? And it really comes down to two buckets, if you want to call it that. You have the public job market and you have the hidden job market. So the public job market, I think everybody's familiar with. These are readily accessible job vacancies that companies put out for public consumption. So we use websites like Indeed or Career Builder or Monster, LinkedIn Jobs. The list goes on and on. All the services and websites that are out there for to find different job vacancies. And in regards to using job boards in regards to your job search strategy and application process, is you really want to think about quality versus quantity of applications, because if your resume isn't ready to go, if it's not relevant, if you're not targeting the companies that are really appropriate for what you're looking for, then if you apply to 500 positions and you're not getting anything back, there might be a reason for that. So oftentimes I hear from students, well, I've applied to hundreds and hundreds of positions and I haven't gotten a response. Well, we got to look at those factors to determine, is it a targeted resume? Does it have mistakes? What is it that's keeping you from being successful? And making sure that it's a quality application. So quality, again, making sure that it's relevant for the positions you're applying to, making sure that your resume is speaking to those industries, those companies, because that's when you're going to get the most responses from your efforts. So quantity isn't necessarily what we want to do. We want to make sure it's a quality application as well. Company websites are another great source for public job postings. Sometimes Indeed and some of the other websites don't really capture some of the postings that come up on specific company websites. So you can't depend fully on Indeed and others. You want to make sure that you have a list of targeted companies, and then access those company websites, their job boards, set up job alerts so that you're automatically getting emails directly from those companies that meet the criteria that you're looking for, as a way to automate your job search application process. So company websites, accessing them directly is something else to consider. Professional organizations, there's hundreds of them, maybe even thousands, that are targeted to different functions, different industries, and all of them usually have job positions, vacancies on their websites that are targeted to their particular function. So I just have a couple of examples here: the American Marketing Association, Project Management Institute, whatever industry you're focused on. It's important to not only look at their job positions, their vacancies, but also join them as students so that you're getting access to their website content and also beginning to network with professionals within those organizations. National Career Fairs is another great place for public job positions. We have a number of students who get internships and full-time positions from these resources or from these sources. So we encourage you to consider the national career fairs, and we'll talk again later on in the webinar on how to access those fair sites. Working with agencies or search firms, third-party recruiters for different positions is another source for public vacancies. Whether it's internal recruiters for a particular company or third-party recruiters who are working with a number of companies, it's important to tap those individuals using LinkedIn and other social media sites to build those relationships so that they know and they're aware of who you are and what you're looking for, and they can start building out their group of potential candidates for their clients. So that's a brief overview of the public job market. Now, it's important to understand that the response rate from just applying to public job postings is pretty poor. 1 in 20 ratio of responses to positions applied. So, for every 100 positions, you might get 5 responses. So it's really important to know that, to understand that, so that if you're just utilizing this particular method, you have to have your expectations in line with what's going to happen. And so, just so you're aware of that, the ratio of of responses to actually the positions you applied to is pretty poor. So that kind of leads us into the other strategy, and that is taking advantage of the hidden job market in conjunction with public postings. And so the hidden job market, essentially those are positions that aren't publicly made yet. They're vacancies that just come up, and usually with individuals within the company might ask friends, family, other colleagues, hey, do you know someone who might be a good fit for this position? And so a lot of positions are filled using this method because a lot of companies don't really like using the public job boards because they're inundated by applicants, and a lot of times those applicants aren't qualified. So it's it's kind of stressful for companies to post something publicly because they're just going to get a lot of applicants who they have to get through in order to get to the ones that they want to really see. So they like to try to fill their positions internally first. And so using friends, family, alumni, colleagues to fill these positions. And this is, how do you get access to these hidden jobs? And that's strictly through networking. That's building relationships. That's getting out and getting to know people. And more importantly, getting people to know you so that when these positions come up, oh, hey, Phil's a pretty good candidate. I think I'm going to, let him know that this position is coming up. I'm going to send, his resume on. And so a lot of times positions are applied or are filled using this method. And so what we like to call it, utilizing your career advocates, allies, and alumni. And that really is finding people who are within the companies that you're targeting. Are they alumni of William & Mary? Are they alumni of your undergraduate institution? Reaching out to them via LinkedIn or by 1693, which is William & Mary's alumni database. Reaching out to them, introducing yourself, having a coffee, having a phone call, and introducing yourself, and getting to know them and getting to know their company, so that the end goal is you're making a connection where that this person feels good about who you are, feels good about your qualifications, and trusts you enough that they're going to refer your name onto somebody else, because trust is really important in this process, and that's really what building relationships is all about. JobVite has a 2014 social recruiting survey that said 60% of their best job candidates are found through referrals. So again, that just puts the exclamation point on why networking is so important to take advantage of the hidden job market. Another one that is utilized by students is this self-initiated opportunity. So if you know of a company or know of an industry well enough where you can go in and say, I can do these 2, 3, 4 projects for you this summer. They might not have a public posting for an intern, but if you go to them with a proposal and say, this is what I can do for you this summer, we've had some students who are successful in doing that. So that's something else to consider, and we can help students develop a proposal or a write-up, and then contact potential companies with that proposal. Now, one slide isn't going to do resume and cover letter content justice, but we're going to briefly talk about it and just touch on some of the high points. Whether it's resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, whatever the case may be, whatever you're targeting, whatever company or job function, you need to make sure that your information, your profile is relevant. When I talk to students, they often hear me say relevancy is king above all else. I've had people hire individuals who had spelling errors on their resume just because they loved the person's background so much because it was relevant to what they were doing. So it even trumps sometimes, not in all cases, but sometimes spelling mistakes on resumes. So make sure that whatever you're targeting, you make it clear to that company exactly what it is that you have in terms of transferable skills that are relevant to what they're doing. That's king. For the resume and for our international friends, make sure that if you're applying to U.S.-based employers, refer to it as your resume rather than your CV. It's we have CVs here in the U.S., but they're usually for specific industries like the academic industry. Keep it to one page if you can. If not, not a huge deal, but understand that they might not get to the second page. So make sure all of the relevant information is on the first page. Write it in a way so that it's skimmable because they're only going to be spending 6 to 20 seconds on this document. If you're an engineer or coming from the military, you don't want to have any technical jargon. Make sure that this is a resume that your mom can read and understand, okay? Quantify your achievements. People like numbers. They're easy to read, understand, and pick out of a resume. So if you can quantify your achievements, the better. Cover letter, again, one page. There's really no excuse to go 2 pages on a cover letter. It's really just an introduction to your resume. So keep it to one page. Again, targeted to that position, that company. Make sure it's relevant, and if all possible, address it to a real live person, which much better than like a to whom it may concern. We do have a career strategy guide that we'll be providing to students that really is going to get into much more detail on this topic and provide you with some examples that you can utilize within your own documentation. Briefly, interview skills and preparation. Practice, like anything else, practice makes perfect, and we're going to provide students many opportunities to practice their interviewing skills, whether it's with us, our staff. We also have our executive partners who work a lot with students on preparing for upcoming interviews. We coach students on using the STAR method when responding to behavioral type interviews, and that simply stands for situation, task, approach, and result. So we'll get into more detail as when you come on campus and through our mock interview programs on what that specifically entails and how to tailor your responses to different commonly asked interview questions. For some of our industries that are within consulting or finance, case interviews are used a lot. So we're going to have a special program this fall that's geared towards case interviewing. So anybody who's going into those industries really should consider it seriously. We also find that other industries are picking up on case interviews as a method to get through candidates. So we're finding that more and more employers are utilizing some version of case interviewing in their evaluation process. And this might be common sense, but it's worth putting out there. Make sure you arrive early to your interviews, even if you have to wait until you're in your car. Make sure you get there, you know where the building is, you get settled, and you're ready to go. To me, on time is late. You want to make sure that you're early. Know your resume. Make sure that whatever you put on there, you're prepared to discuss with an employer. If you have something on there from your undergrad days from 10 years ago, you want to make sure that you're prepared to address it in detail because it's fair game for them if it's on your resume. And make sure you're dressing professionally. If you have any questions about attire, definitely contact our office if there's a particular tie or dress or suit or whatever the case may be you're not sure is appropriate for the interview that you're going to. Just let us know. And also method. If you're not used to phone interviews or Skype interviews, if you're going to be conducting your job search, if you're here and you're going to be interested in California, you're going to be doing a lot of Skype interviews. So if you've never done that before, get with our office so we can provide some training on those types of delivery methods. Most importantly, stay motivated in your job search. Surround yourself with positive people. Find those friends who are upbeat, who are going to give you positive feedback, and try to stay away from those folks who are just down in the dumps, because it can be a long process. Internships are obtained throughout the year, and that's something we want to make sure that we tell students, because we do have students who get them early in the fall semester, and unfortunately for the other students, they look at that and think, what am I doing wrong? I must be failing. And then they get down on themselves, and they stop applying to positions. No, that's exactly the wrong thing to do. What we want you to do is continue the momentum throughout the year until you land something. But it's really important for everyone to understand that internships are obtained throughout the year. And in fact, some of our best internships were accepted at the end of the year. Now, of course, that's going to give those students a lot of anxiety because they don't have anything until the end. But just so that you understand that internships are obtained throughout the year. Another joke that I have with the students I advise is that you don't technically have a job, you don't technically have an internship in the fall, but you really do. It's called the job search internship, and we call it that because all the activities that you're going to be engaged in for your job search, whether it's attending CMC programs, other networking events, meeting with your advisor, meeting with EPs, applying to positions, that takes real tangible time that you need to schedule into your week. And so I would carve out 10 to 20 hours a week for these activities. If you can do that, if you can commit to that, then you're going to be successful. And we're also going to weave in how to manage your job search like a project within all of our programming. So what are the tools that students use to manage their job search? Do they use Excel? Do they have task list calendars? Are they following up with applications that they're sending in? So there's some nuts and bolts that we can coach students on as well. Now, pitch, statement, and story, these are three elements that we're going to be coaching students on throughout the year, but specifically, this is something that you're going to be talking about with during your leadership development experience. You're going to be developing your pitch, which is essentially just a 60-second commercial that isn't your, I was born in the middle of Michigan on a farm. That this is not the pitch, right? Okay, so this is, keep it professional, keep it focused, keep it on what it is that your professional background and your goals for what you're trying to do with your career, because that's what individuals are looking for when they hear your pitch. Your statement and story, these are just drawn out versions of your pitch. Again, drawing from what it is that what skills you have, what experiences you have, and how that feeds in and is going to influence what you can do for a particular company. Think about the strengths that were identified from your career leader assessment results. You can draw from that as well. So look for your LDE experience as an opportunity to develop these, the pitch and the statement and the story that you're going to be using for a variety of reasons. And so when are you going to be using these? One of the most common interview questions is, tell me about yourself. Well, essentially that's your pitch. Excuse me. Walk me through your resume, which is just another version of that question. People, the interview is really just them trying to get to know you, getting beyond that piece of paper. And so they want to hear your story. People love stories, and that's how you're going to connect with people. Another question, why are you interested in working here? Again, this is your opportunity to explain, this is what I've done so far in my career. This is why I'm getting my MBA, and this is how I think I can impact your company. Again, the importance of practice. We can't reiterate this enough. Whether it's through your interviewing skills, your networking skills, whatever the case may be, you want to practice as often as possible. And getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think that's a great statement. You're going to be using the pitch, statement, and story in a variety of ways, and so you want to make sure that you're able to deliver them seamlessly and with confidence. Stand up and watch yourself in the mirror. We do have videotape services here if you want to practice videotaping yourself and watching it back. I think that's a great method. For me, this is a little personal, but I practice my pitch in my car or maybe in the shower. My boys look at me funny, but you know what? It's good practice, and I have fun doing it. So by the time I have to deliver it, I'm ready to go, and then my boys aren't laughing anymore. So first impressions are enduring, and this is so critically important. So much of the impressions that we make on people, and when someone looks at you and try and make some kind of judgment, that first 5, 10, 20 seconds is critical. That's what they use to make their evaluation of you. So in that interview, that first few seconds, a lot of recruiters will tell me, what, I knew I wanted to send them on to the next round within that first few seconds. It's that firm handshake, that eye contact, and that initial pitch that can really sell you and help you move on in the process. And also you're going to be using the pitch and the statement of story during your networking. So if you're at a networking event and you go up to a table with an hors d'oeuvre in your hand, you say, "Hi, my name's Phil. This is what I've done. This is what I'm kind of wanting to do with my career. Hey, do you have any advice for me?" That's how you build rapport. And for that person on the other end, if there's a job at their company that isn't necessarily public yet, they know that you're available and they were impressed with you, and they might refer you to that position. So keep that in mind as you're refining your pitch, your statement, and your story. Okay, I'm going to take a break from talking and drink my tea, and I'm going to pass this on, thank goodness, to Stephanie, who's going to talk about LinkedIn.
I know. Good morning. Luckily, I had my coffee, so if I go a little fast, I apologize. My name is Stephanie Joins, and I am the Marketing and Recruiting Manager here at the Career Management Center, and I manage, amongst many things, our social media networks. So we're going to talk a little bit more about your digital presence, starting off just in general so you know where we do have presence. We are on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. And to give you a sense of how career managers are using these tools, Twitter has things like tweet chats with different companies, with different HR departments. Facebook is a great place for general info. And Pinterest is wonderful for finding information on soft skills, how to develop your executive presence, and basic professionalism. So when I talk about social media, it's really important to go in with a strategy, because you can easily spend hours and hours in the whole social media universe. So to start off on LinkedIn, this is probably the most important place that you are going to be using during your professional career. This is the best place to create a digital presence and really your first impression amongst people in your industry. It's a real-time digital resume. It's more detailed than a one-page resume because you can add a photo, you can show off some of your projects, you can really develop a little bit more about who you are. You can connect to the William & Mary community, including faculty, staff, classmates, and alumni. This is a very strong community that really will be your advocate to connect you to different people in different industries. You also have all of your undergraduate connections and previous employment community connections. So keep in mind that everybody that you've worked with in the past is already part of your network. Just reach out to them on LinkedIn or invite them to LinkedIn and really develop your own community. Recruiter communications. You'll be surprised at how many recruiters are using social media to reach out to professionals. And this is very common on LinkedIn. They have job boards. Recruiters communicate with professionals through LinkedIn. You'll also find them on Twitter, where they will also start conversations with people that you may be able to move off of social media and into a phone call or in-person interview. There's also a great amount of general career, industry, and function news, and this is all very important for when you are in an interview and they ask you something more general about what your knowledge is about the finance sector and knowing what's important in the finance sector and getting more into what is going on in general with some of the challenges and how you can solve those challenges. This is a fantastic infographic because it really addresses who's using LinkedIn. Most users are in the MBA-friendly areas, such as the Northeast, Texas, and California. In the US, this is where you'll find many global companies as well as the Fortune 500 companies. 94% of users are in businesses with over 1,000 employees. So we're talking about really big, strong, powerful companies. And all industries participate on LinkedIn. IT, financial services, retail, you've got hospital and healthcare, telecommunications. This is a fantastic place, regardless of what industry you're interested in approaching, to really do some research, see how you're connected to different industries, and really understand where you want to go with your career. Now, the companies that people on LinkedIn most care about are IBM, Oracle, Microsoft, Deloitte. These are all companies that we have relationships with. We actually have IBM visiting once again this fall, and Deloitte is a regular visitor here on campus as well. Some do's and avoids. First of all, have a professional looking photograph. As I said, this is your first impression online. So be sure to be smiling, look very agreeable, likable, like somebody you want to be working with. Make sure it's professional. So, there are some people who do selfies, but you will be able to have a professional headshot taken in the first few weeks that you're here at William & Mary during your orientation. From that point, you can use that image on your digital presence, whether it's your Twitter feed or LinkedIn. So keep that in mind when it comes to your image as well, when it comes to photo day. List MBA candidate, class of 2017 at the College of William & Mary in your job title. This is important so that people know where you are in the process of of achieving your degree, and then also when you're available for a full-time position. Keep your introduction summary short and to the point. Again, people do not need to know your life story. This is your professional presentation of yourself and should really be highlighting your skills and your interests and where you want to take your career. List your previous education and professional positions just as you would on a resume and highlight any awards, certifications, and accomplishments. If you're in marketing or website design or have a portfolio of work that you would like to share, include those links on LinkedIn. There are ways to share your projects and things that you've worked on so that people can get a sense of the kind of work that you do. Throughout your MBA career, you're going to be creating a lot of different presentations, developing more skills. So always return back to your LinkedIn and update your LinkedIn portfolio just so people can see what you've accomplished. Now, avoid making your profile a word-to-word match of your resume. This is an opportunity to highlight your projects, your web presence, your personal brand, and a resume can't really do that. So this is an opportunity to really highlight your personality a little bit more as well as your skills. Don't connect your profile to any other social networks if you wouldn't want an employer seeing them. Obviously, there are a lot of people who have a personal identity as well as a professional. You may want to create separate social networking sites so that the two don't mix. At the same time, definitely be sure to Google yourself or look at yourself through Bing just to see what is actually coming up under your name. Is there somebody else who has the same name as you and does not have a very professional profile? How do you make yourself distinctive? How do you enhance your professional brand? And if there's anything embarrassing from your past, you may want to figure out how you can have that either removed or pushed further down. Don't connect with people you don't know. Obviously, you're there to network. You're going to be introducing yourself to a lot of people you didn't know previously. But at the same time, this is your network, and you can decide who you want to connect with and who you don't. And if there's somebody that you feel isn't the right match for you, is not the kind of person you want representing your brand, or it just doesn't feel right in your gut that you should be connecting with them, you don't have to. There's no requirement to do that. Don't post on LinkedIn like you do on Facebook and Twitter. Keep it professional and industry focused. Obviously, Facebook and Twitter is Facebook is a great place for when you're posting about your vacation or your kids, or you thought this was really funny. Twitter is more of a commentary kind of resource, but LinkedIn is really focused on the professionalism of what's going on in your industry, what you're doing in your professional life, any kind of promotions that are going on, or something that you really care about at work. This is the right place to really highlight that information. So do keep your message separate between all of the social networks. You can post something on LinkedIn and it will go straight to Twitter. So you can have a professional identity on Twitter. Just keep in mind when it's personal and when it's professional. Do not forget to update it after every mod. There's going to be so much you're going to be learning in the next couple of years during your MBA program that you will really need to update your resume and your social media every mod. Every time you do a presentation, every time you learn a new skill, always keep that up to date, because we do send out resumes and resume books. People do look at your LinkedIn. They want to see how you're developing. And this is very important to really not let any of those skills be thrown by the wayside. After your profile is ready, reach out to your fellow classmates and connect. Be sure to send a note and properly introduce yourself. You can easily just push a button and ask to connect, but it really is much better to write a short note that says, hi, dear so-and-so, my name is so-and-so, and I am currently an MBA student at William & Mary. I would love to connect with you to talk about a little bit more about your industry. Just a short note can humanize you, make it more personal, and people will want to actually connect with you and then follow up with you and start a conversation. Follow companies and industries that you would like to target in your internship and job search. That way you always know what's new in that industry and what information is coming your way. Use Mason School of Business LinkedIn page to search and network with alumni by company, job function, geographic location. We actually have a short video that I will be sharing that can show you step-by-step how to go about this, so you know how to find alumni in the best and most efficient way. Begin looking at your target companies to see what types of positions they post, as well as MBA internships. Many of these companies are posting positions in their job section of their LinkedIn page. Along with that, MBA internships are very different from undergraduate internships. They're more structured, they're at the appropriate level that you'll be working at, and it really gives you an opportunity to develop your skills, make connections within the company that you're interning with, and possibly convert it into a full-time position. Expand your network. Over time, you're going to see how your network is connected to all your target companies, and your dashboard is going to change and give you more and more information so you can get more in-depth information so you understand what's going on in the industry. As I mentioned, LinkedIn has some great resources for you to explore. There's the LinkedIn University page, which has a video to how to look up alumni from your school. It also gives you a handy profile checklist so you don't forget anything that you would want to put on your profile. So that way you can make sure that you've checked off everything and it's really a good, solid, full profile. There are also tip sheets and videos, including how to build your professional brand, networking on LinkedIn, tailoring your profile to your goals, how to communicate effectively, using the alumni tools, and finding a job or internship using LinkedIn. So that was my caffeinated spiel, and now I am going to hand it over to John, who will talk about negotiation.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hope everybody had a good weekend there out wherever you are. It was a beautiful weekend here, nice and cool, unusual here in lovely Williamsburg this time of year, where it's been a little bit warmer than normal. And that's a great way to start to network. You can always talk about the weather. It's safe. You might not want to talk about some of the stuff you do post on Facebook. By the way, numbers of years ago, employers were in the practice of looking at social media accounts and using certain information to disqualify candidates. Laws have now been passed that prohibit that. So I think, like a lot of things, technology gets out there and people get ahead of technology, and then the next thing you know, laws come in and rein it back in. So that's a very, very good thing. So when we talk about networking, it might seem like, well, this is a new concept. I'm an introvert. I don't really know how to network properly. And what I want to say is that whether you know it or not, you've probably been networking all your life. The early friendships that you've developed was a sign of early networking. Why did you choose a particular person to become friends with? And when that person might have said, hey, you know what, we should get together with so-and-so, why did you do it? Well, you did it because you were establishing a network, and this is the way you're going to establish your network professionally or reinforce it. And the way that I like to look at this is it's not so much about what you can, they can do for you, but what you can do for them. You know, asking the question, how can I help you, gives you an opportunity to add value immediately with a suggestion or a referral or a meeting connection. And then it establishes your rep as a giver versus a taker. And most of the time when you give, you get back in return, or maybe even double at times. And then the second thing is, what ideas do you have for me? People like to be asked for their opinion and their ideas on things. It's just a way of letting people have an understanding of what you do and what they do, and how you can have some insight into how they might be able to be helped. And thirdly, who else do you know that I should talk to? That's a very easy question to ask somebody. And between those three questions, how can I help you? What ideas do you have for me? Who else do you know that I should talk to? In all of those, you haven't really asked for a job. And you shouldn't ask for a job as you're establishing a network. Every single day you want to do something, and try to weave this into making a habit. Phil talked about rehearsing your speech. That's the same thing with networking. You want to just reach out to somebody. You're going to come in, and what I noticed this year is that first-year students barely spoke or knew or identified with any of the second-year students. I thought that was a little odd, because one of the greatest networks that you'll have are the graduating class ahead of you who are going to get jobs. If you're networked in there, maybe their employers are going to hire the next year's graduates. So I would really urge you to get to know your classmates within your class, but also in the class of 2016. Make it a habit. Take the long view and connect with at least one person professionally every day. You can do it. I know you can do it. It's pretty easy. Every once in a while, think of two people who should know each other, and then introduce them. You can do it over a idea. You can do it over, many of you have up to 7 to 10 years of business experience. It could be somebody that you meet inside the program with somebody that you know in your professional life, and you want to introduce them together. That sort of thing has a residual to it, and it's the power of networking, especially now with LinkedIn. Before LinkedIn and before social media was around, it was harder to do it. You'd have to use the phone and meet at Starbucks or some other place and hope that both people would show up. Now it's all electronic, and it's amazing how many connections actually happen that fashion. So another way to think about this, imagine that you need to get a job today. Who would be the 5 to 10 people that you would write to for advice right now? Just think about that. Now those are the people that you're going to want to keep really on a short list of people, and you want to invest in those folks regularly. It doesn't mean that you're going to talk to them every day, but every once in a while you want to send them an article, maybe share with them a joke, maybe make sure that they're the people that you are, keeping up to date on your knowledge base. But you just want to make sure that you have a fluid relationship with these people, and not just when you have an urgent need. People will get generally turned off. Oh, you know what? I hear from you now, but I never heard from you for the last 5 months. Where were you? So make sure that you understand that relationships are developed over time. And then look at the 5 to 10 people you've spent the most time with in the last 3 months. Now, are you happy with the way they're influencing you? If so, find another person that might be in that group. And if not, you might want to look at the people that you're spending your time with, because as everybody's mentioned, looking for a job is a very emotional roller coaster. And there is a need to have a very buoyant support network around you as you're looking for a job. So you can't have negativity around you. You can have reality around you, just not negativity. But most of all, you want to have people who are going to encourage you and help you expand your network. So from networking, and if you have more questions, we'll be happy to answer them. We're going to move into negotiating. And you might think, oh, why are we talking about negotiating? I haven't even gotten a job yet. Well, the reality is, like everything, negotiation is a practiced skill. It's a learned skill that you practice. And what we want to do is to make sure that you're getting some early information that you can start to practice. Now, again, I know many of you are coming to the school and the program with some work experience, so you already have probably done some negotiations. But for others, 25% of the incoming class are coming directly from an undergrad program. You want to learn a little bit more about negotiations. So step one is really always be respectful. Don't make it about what you want or need, but what is fair market value. And that means you're going to have to do a lot of research about what that fair market value is. We here at the Mason School have a tremendous library of resources to help you identify what is fair market. In addition to the advisors here who will give you immediate response on an offer you might get, there's just really tons of online resources and library resources that are going to help you. You don't want to do is to ever be put in a desperate situation where you think you have to take something much less than what the market is offering. It's just not reasonable, it's not practical, and if you take it coming out of the program, you'll never be able to catch up. It's very difficult. Because most companies want to have a different approach to the negotiation than the candidate. The companies do expect that candidates will ask for a certain percentage more. It's just a fact of life. I've done hiring for over, 5,000 people, and aside from direct hourly hiring where the wage was either negotiated by contract or we were just paying prevailing wage in a particular area, every time an offer was tendered, we knew that and we hoped for a negotiation because we wanted to see how the individual would react. Now, it could be that we weren't looking for a 50% correction, but a 5 to a 10% pushback was something that, we never took with any sort of insult, and we paid a lot of attention to that. But you can also negotiate other aspects of your compensation other than money. Some of these could be more time off. So it could also include any particular equipment that you feel you need to do your job. One of the things that are, if you're going into the marketing field or analytics field, you may want to have subscriptions to databases. They're expensive, and they might not have them, but if they're going to be something that you need to do, that you need to have to do your job, those might be something you negotiate up front. And very worthwhile to talk about that. You may want to go to a particular industry conference. Sometimes conferences are only attended by people who have certain seniority or certain levels in an organization, but perhaps you feel that you should have an opportunity to go to a conference earlier. You can negotiate that in. Ability to work from home, flex time, even time to defer a decision. Let's just say, you've had school from work to school, you want a little time off, you love the offer, and you negotiate some extra time off. So all of that is opportunity for you to negotiate. So when we look at, a little bit of a summary on this, know your worth to the company and to the industry. Not all industries pay the same. For instance, you could take a brand manager position in pharma, and it's going to have a different price point than, let's say, in a manufacturing business where they're manufacturing clamps for the auto industry. It's going to be very different. So you need to understand the industry and the company. Know what the total offer is, not just the yearly wage. rule of thumb, generally speaking, for a company to pay between all the taxes they pay, FICA, SUI, FUI, and then on your benefits, that's an additional 30% on top of your wage that goes into hosting you to work there. So keep that in mind. Also, bonuses and any other aspect of your compensation. Map out your strengths to the responsibilities of position. Make sure that as you're negotiating, you're continually reinforcing why you're going to be able to do that job better than somebody else, and that you want to stay there. If you need extra time to consider the proposal, ask for it. And that word ask I specifically share with you because if you position everything in terms of an ask versus an expectation or a demand, well, then you're in the language of negotiating. If you say, I want, and make it a dead-end sort of statement, well, you know what? I've seen offers pulled away. I've pulled away offers from overly aggressive or naive negotiators. And I'm sure that, in this day and age where jobs are kind of hard to come by, you don't want to upset somebody who's going to give you an offer. And that's what I have here for Negotiating 101. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your summer. Looking forward to seeing you next month. Bill?
Thanks, John. Great advice. I'm going to continue on John's conversation regarding networking. That's a good segue into the Mason Career Champion a variety of things. And if you're exploring an area that you're not familiar with, a lot of times MBAs go enter the program because they want to change careers, they want to try something new, and so you can tap into the William & Mary Alumni Network, find an individual who's doing something that interests you, and contact them and have a conversation about what they do, what's the best part of their job, what are some of the challenges that they're facing right now within their position or within the industry. So getting information about a particular or a possible career path for you is a great reason to contact the alumni. Also to tap into that hidden job market. So there's a variety of reasons that you want to engage the William & Mary alumni community. So the Mason Career Champions really it's a special designation given to some individuals who are just exceptionally engaged within the school and are really amenable to students to reach out to them and contact them for those reasons and have those conversations. So they're happy to share their experiences, their expertise. They can give you tips on interviews, maybe some possible interview questions within a company that you have an interview with. They can also give you, you're going to be going to school here, but again, if you're going to go out to California or Texas or the Midwest, they might give you some tips on just the region, the culture of the area, and the culture of the company that you're interviewing with. So they're individuals who we have strong ties with, we have strong relationships with, and they want to do whatever they can to help students succeed in making that transition from the academic back into the professional world. So the true essence of a champion, we do use the CHAMP acronym, and the C just stands for connect. And again, this is a group of individuals who you can reach out to via LinkedIn or My1693. We do have a list of the career champions that we'll show you how to access as well. So to John's point, these aren't people who you call up and say, I'm ready for a job. These are individuals who are there for advice, for guidance, for suggestions, for feedback, for coaching, for motivation, whatever you need to help you in your job search. They're there to provide that guidance. So C is for connect. H is for hopefully hire and host. They are individuals who oftentimes are in position to make hiring decisions. So, who knows, there might be an opportunity where that you just hit it off with them real, significantly, and they say, well, I think I might have a position for you, or I have a colleague who has an opening I'm going to refer you to. So, that'd be ideal, but that's, you want to go into it, not with that expectation, but, but certainly, it certainly might be a possibility. And if not, they can, facilitate those introductions to the hiring managers. The A stands for advocate. So, these are individuals who, we tap for different events here on campus. We have a variety of programs where we bring in speakers. And so we draw on this group of folks to come to campus and to help us deliver programs. Whether it's on campus or, we've done it virtually as well using either Adobe Connect or a Google Hangout. Whatever the case may be, these individuals are ready to contribute to the program in our office and other parts of the school. M stands for mentor. So definitely a group of individuals to mentor students, but also recent graduates. So our class of 2015 individuals are reaching out to our champions for the same thing as they did as students, that guidance, that insider knowledge, that support. And P is for partner. So, we think, in terms of strategic thinking, we're looking at it short-term, but also long-term objectives. So these are individuals who, we've maintained relationships for a while, and we want to continue on. So it's important that, we all, do our due diligence in keeping that positive, keeping that relationship positive and close. And, again, not asking for a job when you call, but really just asking for feedback and suggestions on how you can be successful in your job search. So the Career Champion Leadership, we do have our Career Champions broken out into different industries and different sectors, and we typically have a Career Champion who's kind of the head of a different sector. And so again, these are names that we will be able to provide you so that you have that contact information, and we encourage you to contact them directly. So they're individuals who help with our CAMs. They're involved in our pods, our path of distinctions. So again, these are individuals who are highly engaged in the school, and they're here to do whatever they can to make sure that you're successful. So how do you leverage this network? So again, these are a group of people, alumni who want to be contacted. That's what they signed up for. So we do encourage you to contact them via LinkedIn, and we can help you draft that introductory message. If you're not sure that how to do that or don't feel comfortable doing that, we can, that's what we're here for as the CMC, to help you with that kind of connection. You want to make sure that you articulate the purpose of connecting, that maybe it's the company that they're working for you'd like to learn more about, or the company is within an industry that you'd like to learn more about, or maybe you have an upcoming interview within that area and you'd like to get some feedback from someone who's in the field and working in that area right now. So that's one reason why you might want to contact them, and make sure you find out what the best mode of communication is. They might want you to meet in person if they're local, or if you're in the DC area. They might feel comfortable using Skype, and a lot of them do. So that might be a method that they're comfortable using. And then follow up with the champion after connecting. This, again, this is a relationship. You don't want to just have the meeting and then it kind of drops off after that. They're concerned about you. They're concerned about students and their success, and they like to hear from you and how things are going. So, and that's part of networking. That's part of keeping a relationship going, is keep them updated on your progress. If they helped you prepare for an interview, good or bad, let them know how it went. They want to get that feedback. They care about the outcome. So, maintain that relationship by closing the loop and not leaving anything open. And again, just to reiterate, they're here for career advice and not necessarily to ask for a position. So here's just a few quick steps on how to find that list of career champions. We do have it on our website. It's within our alumni section, and it's under our Mason Career Champions area. We do have some instructions. Some sample language you can use. We have the access information for the spreadsheet of names and contact information. You will use your William and Mary ID and password to get that information. And then once you have the list of names, you'll be able to reach out to them via LinkedIn. So, don't feel like you have to copy this down. We are taping a session, so we will be able to provide everyone a taped session of the webinar, so along with the slides. So you don't feel like you have to copy down these steps. WOBA is an important group for William and Mary. It's the Washington Area Alumni Business Alliance. It really is. It's a wonderful group that is based in the DC area and includes thousands of William and Mary alumni. They put on a variety of different events throughout the year that students are encouraged to attend. It gives you an opportunity to meet with a number of graduates and begin practicing those networking skills. Making some real professional connections with individuals who are working at a high level in their different industries and companies. So you want to make sure you tap into that resource. Again, they're here meeting together as a way to not only connect but also give back to William and Mary. So what you have with WOBA is a very large, very engaged group of alumni who care about the school and care about the success of their students. And just quickly, a few success stories. 50% of the MBA Career Symposium speakers were career champions. Over 60% of the class of 2016 internships came from career champions. And with WOBA and Career Champion Advisory Council, the leaders comprise 100% of our DC-based career panels and industry-focused speaker engagements. So a very engaged group of individuals. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to our final section with Dolores Metcalf, who's going to talk about Mason Link and a few other items.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dolores Metcalf. I am the IT data manager here at the Career Management Center. I am also responsible for doing analytics based on your career outcomes. So when you guys earn an internship or full-time position, you will provide that content to me, and then it enables me to help you identify which employers have given our MBA students this average salary. I actually just had a student ask me, what's the average starting salary for Deloitte? And I was able to go back through my data to provide that to him. So that's kind of one of the perks of providing that information to me. Today, since we are really, really short on time, I'm just gonna kind of talk about Mason Link to a degree, and then I'm gonna go over the career fairs that you guys attend. Okay, Mason Link. Most of you should have received your login credentials for Mason Link. If you have not, please email me at dolores.metcalf@mason.wm.edu so I can help you get those login credentials set up. For training on Mason Link, I've created 2 presentations. One is profiles, appointments, and general overview. The other are employers, jobs, and setting up your job alerts. I would encourage you to watch those. For example, if you watch the profiles, appointments, and general overview, you will learn how to tell how many times an employer has viewed your resume or how many times CMC has provided your resume to an employer. If you look at employers, jobs, and settings video, you'll learn how to connect your LinkedIn account to your Mason account. That will enable you to see what alumni, William & Mary alumni, actually work at different employers through Mason Link's employer section. So I encourage you guys to review those videos. FYI, when you get to the first page of any of those videos, there are some links that you can just click to jump to the section that you're interested in. Now, kind of some administrative things. It's really important that you update your career profile and ensure that you have an approved resume in Mason Link. So work with your advisor to make sure your resume is approved in Mason Link. Also, at the end of July, you will have received your Mason email accounts. You will use your Mason email accounts to communicate to us. We'll be using it to communicate to you. You'll be using it to communicate to whoever in the school, and you'll probably use it as your email for communicating to employers. And FYI, once we receive those, I'm going to update your username from your personal email you provided to your Mason email address, and I'll send you an update with that information in time. The next slides basically cover how to create an advanced search in Mason Link in the jobs section. And this slide will tell you, because you're getting these slides later, how to save that search so you can create a job agent that you can receive new jobs daily, weekly, or however you choose. I'm just skipping through things because we're running out of time, and I'm getting to the part that I think is the most important, and it's about the career fairs. Okay, there are a couple career fairs we encourage you to attend, and the good news is the CMC provides stipends, financial support to help you attend these career fairs. To learn more about stipends, you can go to our website, or you can read about it in the career guide. So one of the career fairs we encourage you to attend is National Black MBA Association. Please note, anyone can attend this event. It is not only for African American students. So anyone can attend, and we encourage you all to attend. The links I'm providing you are to their main website, their job listings, and also to the conference website. Their conference is starting in September. If you want to register for that conference, click that link. You can also pre-register for interviews with the employers that will be there. So I encourage you to review that information and look at that. The next one is Net Impact. If you're interested in social entrepreneurship, this is the career fair you should attend. All the information you need is right there. The next career fair is National Society of Hispanic MBAs. Again, anyone can attend this. It is not just for people of Hispanic origin. And the next one is the National Association of Women MBAs. Again, all that data is here for you to use. So do any of you have any questions for us? If you do, please type your question in the Q&A box. Otherwise, we will end this presentation, and you will receive the recorded version and this presentation via email today.
Okay, if there's no questions, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to meet with us today. We're going to, as Dolores mentioned, we'll follow up with a link with the tape version. We'll provide the slides. Please reach out to us if you have any questions on any of the content that we covered, because we did cover a lot. I think we have one question coming through here.
Cedric asked, what is your opinion on participating in case competitions at conferences?
We have a question about participation in case competitions, and yeah, we certainly encourage students to explore those opportunities. It's a wonderful way to as a means of training for those, especially if you're interested in consulting or finance, those industries who want students with those skills. This is a great way to add on, your training here at this school. So we encourage you to find your student colleagues who are also interested, form a team, and explore those opportunities. So absolutely, we encourage those.
I also want to mention that we have had students win these competitions, including at Nishimba in 2013. Our team won the PepsiCo competition, as well as the Deloitte case competition. So don't just think you're actually just entering for the experience, which is wonderful, but we have actually had winners in the past.
Thanks, Stephanie. I hope everybody heard that. We
Shouted
we
it
do
at
have
my team.
a track record of students successfully winning a variety of different case competitions. So great question. We appreciate you you asking that. If there's not any other questions, again, feel free to reach out to us either individually to your career advisor or MBA careers at mason.wm.edu for general questions. But again, thank you so much for taking the time today to go through the content. Again, it was a lot, but we think it was important to at least start you thinking